Shabbat Shalom, my friends. The holiday of Passover is now behind us, and I trust that you and your family enjoyed a happy and healthy holiday. But is Egypt really behind us? Did we manage to go free this year? As we and the world around us continue to face the health and financial challenges that have come as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, this question takes on a whole new meaning. Indeed, at a Passover Seder led by the 6th Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, in the 1940s, the Rebbe was asked, what is the point of discussing the liberation from Egypt if we are still in exile? To which the Rebbe responded, it reminds us that we have the ability to leave. But how? Some years back, towards the end of our communal Seder, 2 5-year-old boys began chasing each other around the room. At first glance, the scene looked nothing more than 2 typical children in an hour way past their bedtime. But that wasn't the case. These 2 young and energetic boys, our son Yossi, and a young boy who had recently emigrated from Israel, had a language barrier and were finding creative, childlike ways to communicate with each other. I remember at the end of the Seder, as we were saying goodnight and wishing Chag Sameach to this Israeli boy and his family, the young boy looked up at me and asked that I teach Yossi Hebrew so that they can talk and play together in the future. Year after year, we all read the Passover Haggadah, the story of the Exodus, be it in Hebrew or in English. Yet so many of us just don't see the connection and relevance of this age-old story to our personal life. More often than not, we end up racing through this fundamental story, finding creative ways to keep things interesting, just like the 2 young friends who ran after each other at the Seder. So what is the point of discussing the liberation from Egypt if we are still in exile? As the previous Rebbe taught us, it reminds us that we have the ability to leave. You see, Egypt is not only a geographical location, but is also a state of mind. Taking the suggestion of the young Israeli boy, let me teach you some Hebrew. There are 2 almost identical Hebrew words that I found in every Hasidic discourse I studied over Passover. The first is Mitzrayim, which means Egypt. The second, Meitzarim, which means boundaries or limitations. The similarity of these words, Mitzrayim and Meitzarim, suggests that leaving Egypt implies an experience of self-transcendence and lifting ourselves out of our natural limitations. You see, we each possess a holy soul, a spark of godliness, which, like God himself, is infinite and boundless. On a personal level, Egypt symbolizes those influences and forces which confine and limit our spiritual potential. Leaving Egypt means leaping over our personal barriers and constraints and bringing our infinite spiritual potential to the surface. At the end of the Seder, many people add the words, we have finished the Seder, Chasal Sidur Pesach. Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of the Chabad movement, pointed out that the Chabad custom is not to say this because the message of Passover is endless. We need to take the experience of redemption with us into our everyday lives, as it says in Deuteronomy, so that you shall remember the day when you went out of the land of Egypt, all the days of your life. While you may remember this verse from the Passover Haggadah, it is also said daily as the first of 6 important remembrances recited after morning services. Indeed, we are taught that our efforts to break our spiritual barriers and leave our personal Egypt is the catalyst with which we hasten the ultimate and final exodus. May this Shabbat, when we bless the new Hebrew month of Iyar, known as the month of healing, usher in the time when the world will find complete healing with the coming of Mashiach. May it be without delay. May it be today. Amen.